It's important to recognize that some clients with a diminished mental capacity because of age, mental illness, brain injury, or the like, may not necessarily be under a legal disability. Those clients may merely need accommodation for their disability so that they can exercise their legal rights in the same way as anyone else. And lawyers, like any other service provider, are legally obliged to provide accommodations to people with disabilities, to people who need them. And that's not only in the lawyer's rules of professional conduct, but it's also under the Human Rights Code. It's probably safe to say that when an injury victim, and in particular a brain injury victim, has to get involved in the legal system and has to retain a lawyer, that they're going through one of the more difficult times in their lives. And when their injury or brain injury causes what the law calls mental disabilities that make communication or understanding things difficult or challenging, that makes them a little bit vulnerable. It's important for lawyers to be able to distinguish between clients who truly lack capacity and those who may have other mental disabilities that merely require accommodation. The legal presumption, of course, is that a person has capacity until it's proven otherwise. The right to make one's own decisions and conduct one's own affairs is a fundamental right, and one that should only be displaced where it is established that a person lacks the mental capacity to do so. In general terms, the capacity is demonstrated by an ability to understand or appreciate. To meet the test for capacity to instruct counsel, the person must do a number of things. One, understand what they have asked the lawyer to do for them and why. Two, be able to understand and process the information, advice, and options that the lawyer presents. And three, appreciate the advantages and drawbacks and potential consequences associated with the options they are presented with. It's also important to recognize that incapacity in a legal sense must stem from some kind of mental source, such as a mental illness, dementia, developmental delay, or physical injury like a brain injury, and not other things or other reasons such as a lack of sophistication, education, or even cultural differences. When a lawyer is confronted with the question about whether a client may or may not have legal capacity, I think it's important to do a preliminary screening and to identify any red flags that may suggest incapacity or the need to get a more formal assessment. And I really think it's important for lawyers as advocates for these clients to understand and accommodate these people so that they can participate in the legal system as anyone else would.